My daughter called me from the farmer's market sobbing. She was cornered by 6 elderly women screaming that she was unchristian for not loving the brothers born from her dad's affair. My ex-mother-in-law sent them. That was her mistake. Because just days later, her entire church community turned on her, and I made sure it was righteous, biblical karma. If you've ever dreamed of serving poetic justice to someone manipulative and cruel, especially when they hide behind religion, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most cathartic stories of revenge you've heard all week. Let me give you some context. I'm 46, widowed, and raising 2 daughters, 17 and 15. My ex-husband died in an accident last year, and while that may sound tragic, the real tragedy is the emotional wreckage he left behind. You see, he cheated on me, repeatedly, and with one woman in particular, he fathered 2 sons. She also died in the accident, leaving those 2 boys orphaned, and that's where the chaos really began. My daughters were the ones who actually discovered their father's affair. Imagine that trauma, finding out your dad not only betrayed your mom, but also built another secret family. They were devastated. And while we were still reeling from all this, my ex's parents, my former in-laws, started scheming. They demanded custody of my girls, tried to move into our home. They acted like I owed them access to my kids and my life just because their son passed away. We're in court over custody, and I've made it crystal clear they will never live with us, ever. Now here's where it gets disgusting. My youngest daughter had just turned 15. As a special birthday treat, we went to the local weekend market. Lots of homemade chocolate, baked goods, farm-fresh everything. I gave her a budget and let her roam. An hour later, she called me, her voice cracked with tears. "Mom, I'm scared. Some weird women are yelling at me." I dropped everything and ran with my older daughter. What I found made my blood boil. 6 older women, church ladies, had surrounded her. They were yelling that she was a disgrace to God and unchristian for refusing to embrace her little half-brothers. They said she was turning her back on family, that she was failing as a big sister. She was trembling, just frozen in place. I stepped in, told my older daughter to go pay for her sister's stuff and get to the car. Then I faced the holy hyenas. Some of these women I recognized from the church we used to attend with my in-laws. They sneered at me, told me I was a shameful woman who turned her children against their grandparents, that I was a failure as a Christian wife for not submitting to my in-laws' authority. I snapped. I don't even remember all the words I used, but I made it loud and clear that they were harassing a child. Eventually, the scene got so intense that market security asked all of us to leave. These women followed me to my car like they were sent straight from hell in orthopedic shoes. Later that night, once the girls were in bed, I needed answers. So I reached out to someone I still trust from that church. He apologized profusely and then sent me screenshots that made my stomach turn. My ex-mother-in-law had posted a massive sob story on the church Facebook group. She claimed we were leaving her and her husband homeless, that we were the ones refusing contact, that I was heartless. She even said that I was to blame for them losing their grandsons. She left out a few key details, of course, like her son cheating and how she supported the affair. Oh, and the part where my daughters were being emotionally abused by her constantly. But here's the part that made me snap. She claimed that the woman my husband had an affair with was a surrogate, and that I rejected the babies because they were boys. Let that sink in. Not only did she weaponize religion, but she twisted our pain into a fairy tale about her being the victim. But here's the thing about this church. They can be backward on a lot of things, especially LGBTQ issues. But if there's one thing they absolutely do not tolerate, it's cheating. Adultery is their cardinal sin. And this woman just handed me the perfect opportunity. Because while the divorce wasn't finalized when my ex died, I had kept everything. Photos, screenshots, texts, emails, phone logs. I had entire conversations between my ex and his mistress. I had messages of his parents egging him on. I had them bullying my daughters, calling them bastards, blaming them for his death because they told me about the affair. 2 days after he died, they sent that message. The next day, I went full-on scorched earth. I went to a print shop, paid extra for high-quality prints. I printed photos of my ex and his affair partner kissing on our couch, texts of them planning dates, messages from his parents praising the affair, emails harassing me and my daughters. I even included a transcript of the message where they told my girls, "Your father died because of you." Then, I sat down and created binders. Each one looked like the little hymn booklets the church gives out, but when you opened it, the first page was a full-color photo of my ex making out with his mistress. Captioned underneath, the true love story of ex's name, affair partner. I took them to the church just before Sunday service. There's a desk in the back where they keep extra songbooks. Nobody checks them. But the congregation did check them that morning. Within hours, the church Facebook page exploded. People were livid. The names they called my ex and his affair partner would have made a sailor blush. The pastor had to step in just to stop people from turning it into an exorcism. And my ex-in-laws? They were done. People turned on them, hard, not just for enabling the affair, but for attacking my daughters. The messages about bastards and "your fault he's dead" hit everyone right in the soul. What absolutely sent me was the church's response to me. One woman wrote, "I don't agree with divorce, but after the trauma you endured, your fall from grace is understandable. We'll pray for your return to the light." Apparently, I was still kind of evil, but justifiably evil. My daughters even got apology letters, and I received an invitation to join a support group for widows. As for my ex-mother-in-law, she posted a weepy status on Facebook about being abandoned by the church and forgotten by society. She said no one cares about old people, that her great son would have taken care of her if he were alive. Which is rich, because I was the breadwinner. The moment I watched that church congregation turn on her, the woman who had weaponized her religion, manipulated the truth, and emotionally tortured my children, I felt a release I hadn't known I needed. She thought she could hide behind holy verses and pity parties, but I handed the truth to her beloved community, wrapped in scripture-colored covers. Now she's alone, shunned, labeled the enabler of adultery and abuser of grieving teens, and every fake prayer she ever said, every judgmental glance she gave my girls, paid for in full. Sometimes, justice doesn't come from the court sit, comes from letting the truth speak for itself. And when liars hide behind faith to justify cruelty, exposing them isn't just revenge, it's redemption. If this story gave you chills, go ahead and smash that like button and let me know in the comments. What's the most righteous revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma strikes back harder than ever.